Welcome, everyone, to Waves on the Shore, episode 17 of your favorite podcast, coming at you bi-weekly as we do. 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on. It's how we do it. And today's episode 17. We got some music we're going to talk about. We got some new music we're going to talk about. We got some movies we're going to talk about. Jaron's going to get mad or happy about sports. I don't know which one.
It'll be interesting.
It's going to be a great episode. Strap up. And do you have anything else to add?
Just stay strapped or get clapped. That's all I got to say.
A pause. Okay. Anyways, with that out of the way, first on the agenda, Muscadine Bloodline. Right, everyone's favorite duo from Alabama. They kind of blew up in 2020, and now their sophomore album, Dispatch to 16th Ave, is out. It's been done for a while. I remember in like September of 2021, they said the album was done. We didn't get it until just this past week. We've had some time to digest it. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good on it. But I might have an interesting position, I guess. Because I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I mean, I watched your review, so I know how you feel. I don't know. I guess I really like this album, but I honestly think. Okay, I guess how does this album compare to their last album for you? I should ask that.
I feel like the sound on their first album, I think, is a little more mainstream, a little more smooth, a little more well-rounded, whereas this album feels a little more gritty, a little more rough, with exceptions. But
sure.
On the whole, it's a lot more like harder acoustic strumming, a lot more garagey old Eric Church electric licks, some harsh drums, whereas their first album felt a lot smoother. As for how it stacks up against the old one, I think lyrically, I think Dispatch to 16th Ave just has more interesting concepts, even if I think those concepts don't get fully realized or don't see their full potential. But I think, in all honesty, I mean, it also is tough to say because it's so new. But at the moment, I would lean towards Dispatch over Burn It at Both Ends. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah. See, I've listened to this album. I just can't. It's weird for me. I know I'm not really saying a whole lot because I don't know what I'm trying to say, really. Except that I've listened to this album a lot of times, and I've been throwing it on while I've been trying to relax. I've been throwing it on while I do homework. I threw it on while I was driving. And I just can't, like... I know I like it, and I know it's good. What I keep coming back to is I feel like I should like it more than their first album, but I don't think that I do. Like, there's songs that I like. There's not a song that I dislike, but on their first album... And maybe there probably is better writing on this album, but, like, on their first album, there were some features, and there were just some fun songs. And then... And not that an album needs to have a feature to be good. I just think I really liked the features on their first album with, like, Brent Cobb, and especially, I really like Here Goes Nothing. Jordan Fletcher's on that album. Here Goes Nothing is... Yeah, Here Goes Nothing is my favorite Muscadine Bloodline song, probably. And I also really like the almost, like, punk rock songs. Like, a couple of their songs on their first album, like... The title track, Drunk Tattoo.
Yeah.
Wrong Side of Goodbye. Those three songs almost get into like a punk rock situation, and I like punk rock, so I really like what's going on there. And in this one, it's just like this album was a different flavor, and I liked it, but it's like this album was cookies and cream, but their last album was banana cream pie, and I like both of those things, but banana cream pie just goes really hard in my opinion. So
that's gotta be one of the weirdest.
It's the first thing that came to my mind. Yeah. Long story short, banana cream pie. I guess. Sorry. Let me give more context.
Where did that come from?
It's okay. So Bluebell ice cream, my favorite ice cream. They have.
This is the American.
My favorite
one, right?
flavors. It's the greatest American ice cream brand. It's the greatest ice cream brand. It just is. I don't care. I don't need to try all of them to know that. Cookies and cream, second favorite flavor. Banana cream pie, first favorite flavor. Dispatch to 16th
Not his
Ave
favorite.
is really, really
His
good,
first
but it's
favorite.
Yeah. Bruh. I promise I know how the English language works. Cookies and cream is really good. That's Dispatch to 16th Ave. Banana cream pie, that's burning at both ends. And what I'm trying to say is they're both really good. I just I think I like the first one more. I can't really necessarily. Maybe this album is better, but the things that the first album has to offer, I just enjoy more. Not to say that this one doesn't have any good songs, because like No Pedal Steel, great song. The last track, I
Down
actually
in
really
Alabama
like.
was really good.
Down in Alabama, I really like. That's my.
I loved
thing.
Southern as well.
I also
thought
really like Southern.
It was super smooth, super breezy. I like that one.
Oh, the Hung Up on You going into Southern is like that. I will say this. I really like what Muscadine Bloodline does with transitions. Almost basically every song transitions into another song. And
They
they
took
did
a
that
page
on,
out of Dawn FM. Not that he was
They
the first
they
singer.
do that. They do that on both albums. They do that on
Do they?
at both ends. Yeah,
I don't-
I've
I
listened
don't
to
recall the transitions being as
I think a lot of the
I don't know the word
transitions
I'm
on this
looking for.
album are more obvious than the ones
Yeah.
on Burn At Both Ends.
because it's like it'll be going like it's not like a fade out, fade in. It's like it literally just keeps going.
Yeah, I think, but I will say that I've listened to a lot of the first two tracks on Burn At Both Ends I really like, and the transition from Burn At Both Ends to Drunk Tattoo is really obvious,
I'm
especially.
gonna have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah. At least I think it is. I
Yeah.
could just be wrong, but I think that's really interesting that they choose to do that, and they've done it on both albums. I think they make it more obvious on this one.
I'm gonna use this as an excuse to be sad, because when we talk transitions, the thing that's fresh in my mind is the new Weekend album. And I know we're kind of venturing off of like the genre we normally talk about, but I want to be sad, okay? Because on February 9th of 2021, a year ago yesterday, me and my friends, me and two of my good friends, we bought tickets to see The Weeknd on February 1st, 2022, aka 7 days ago at the time of recording this. And we thought, surely we will see this concert. It's in over a year. Canada will have figured their stuff out. No. Nope. So we waited, right? Got all hyped up. And then it didn't happen. Why? Because COVID, and I was depressed. That was Tuesday. I was gonna say something else. Yeah, bro. And we got like the early bird tickets, like the day it came out. So we paid like just over $200, and we were row 14. Like we were gonna get the experience, and it got canceled.
So did they like refund you or?
Yeah, we got our money back. It's being rescheduled to like a stadium tour now, but it's like I don't want to be in a stadium, bro. That's too big. But anyways, then while I'm crying about, not literally crying, but like, I was, bro, I'm just sitting in my room, like, ain't no way.
You were just in
I
your
waited
feels.
an entire calendar year to sit on my bed and not be at a Weeknd concert. But anyways, then 2 days later, my friends went to Toronto, and I was supposed to go, but my parents were like, roads aren't good enough conditions, which I'm not trying to slander my mom and dad. They definitely had a point, but it sucks 2 days after your first concert in 3 years, your first concert without your parents, right? Because I'm freaking young, right? 2 days after that, my trip to Toronto gets canceled. But they got me this, because I have good friends.
Ooh.
They got me on vinyl, The Weeknd's Greatest Hits. And I've been
Dang.
spinning this thing along with, I already showed this off. I'm showing it off again, bro. The Sunday drive is beautiful. But yeah, that's my excuse to be sad and talk about my new vinyl. And yeah.
Ooh, I got a new vinyl recently.
Ooh.
Actually,
Oh,
let's
wait,
play a
is
quick
this-
game. What do you think? What do you think I got on vinyl recently?
Didn't you text me about this? Oh, you
That's a hard
absolutely
question.
did. Where was it? Oh, I don't know if it was on Instagram or messages.
Ooh, maybe I did.
Oh, what was it? No, I don't want to like kill too much awkward silence in the middle of a podcast.
Just don't think about it too much. Just try to guess, and we'll see. I'm just curious to see if you can think of this. I'll give you a hint. It's a movie soundtrack.
Oh, frick! No, you told me this too. You told me this too.
It's a recent movie. It came out. Not that I would expect you to remember recent movies.
No,
that
like
came
I don't.
out.
I've never seen the movie, obviously, but I remember you saying. So I'm gonna hate when I hear the title because I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I knew that. What is it?
It is the.
Dancing something? No. Was I close?
Well, no,
no,
no, you're not.
just put me
but
in
I
my
do-
misery.
Sorry. It was the No Time to Die soundtrack. Like 007, James Bond. It was the Daniel Craig's
That's
last.
what it was. The James Bond. Frick.
And also, while we're talking about new albums, I got the Morgan Wade Deluxe right here.
Hey.
Which, by the way, if we ever meet up, I'll have to give you my standard one because I literally a month ago I got her normal one, and then like right after I got her normal album, they announced the deluxe, and I was like, why?
Bro, I just bought the album.
Yeah, I literally just got it, and I was like, dope. So now I have. That's one of my like. I really want like Wild World. I want the deluxe, but I'm like, like I already have the one. Sometimes I hate deluxe albums because it's just like as a person that collects physical media, it's really
I
frustrating.
can see that. At the same time, though, I feel like a lot of deluxe albums just become really irrelevant. Like if you listened to the album, not even when it first came out, but just any time before the deluxe came out, you never revisit the deluxe songs. At least I don't. Like the
It
Morgan
depends.
the Morgan
Some
Wade
deluxe
deluxe songs,
albums.
they were cool, right? There were some cool songs. I felt better about some than others. But every time I want to listen to Morgan Wade, I'm just gonna go to the original. Same thing with like Tim
Although
McGraw's Here on Earth. It's like
Yeah.
that's an album that like I still go back to quite a bit. I never touch any of the bonus songs. I don't even think I have them downloaded. It's just like
Well,
you get a connection to the original.
I think some deluxes. I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it. I just don't really like them. Like I know people. I think I dislike deluxe albums more than I dislike double albums.
I'd back
Because
that.
at least
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, but like I will say that I really like Run, off of this deluxe album. Like I really like Run a lot. I do. I listen to that one, and The Night is good.
The Night's a cool one. It is.
Yeah. I know a lot of people were big on Through Your Eyes and like the writing and stuff like that, and I don't think it's bad. But and now we're talking about Morgan Wade's deluxe. Well, whatever. It's just I don't know. It felt almost like. I don't know. For some reason, that song in particular didn't click with me. But anyway, what were we talking about?
We were talking about Muscadine Bloodline. Then I went off topic and got mad.
We've already said our piece on that. Album's good.
The Muscadine Bloodline is a solid album.
Good.
And
good album.
I think we're going to transition into a little like intermissive segment that we've talked about introducing every few episodes. Just as a little fun 5-10 minute segment because you guys really liked when we talked about movies.
I'm really excited for this.
When I talked about when Jaron talked about and I tried to understand Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
so
I'm gonna you guys like that. So we introduced Jaron wanted to introduce and I agreed this new little segment that we have not named, but it's effectively
I think we should
Jaron forces me to watch a movie.
Jaron forces Evan to watch a movie and
then tries to explain why it's a good movie.
Well, we might not always watch good movies. But I think it'll be fun to watch like movies that aren't like big blockbusters, like you know, like almost niche ones. And so Evan,
because I know nothing about movies.
What was the movie that I tasked you with watching?
The movie was from the 90s. a rom-com.
Was it from the 90s?
I thought it was. If I watch the wrong movie, I'm ending the podcast.
Well, what's it called? Say what it's called.
The Holiday.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. It is The Holiday, but is it from the 90s? It's from 2006, bro. What do you want?
Bro, I thought I saw 1990 something somewhere.
This dude.
To be fair,
all right.
it seems very...
Evan?
Look at this
Here,
cover,
wait,
bro.
actually...
That's 90s. I'm not...
They kind of... Sure.
old,
Well, there's a
but-
lot of... It was still kind of a similar era of movies where, like, rom-coms were actually pretty good back then.
Yeah.
And now we're getting these cheap ones that are just pushed out on Netflix, like... what's the one with Joey King? I can't think of it, but there's like 3 of them. They're on Netflix. The first one's okay. The sequels aren't good. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent.
So, hold on.
Evan, I'm going to give you some brief thoughts, and then we're going to let you just kind of...
So, for the listeners, unless you've seen The Holiday, star actors Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, and Jack Black. Why don't you give like a quick 60-second, here's what you need to know, just so if you haven't seen the movie, you have the idea of what we're talking about.
So, the movie is essentially... I'll lay the premise out. Basically, it's telling 2 stories that are loosely connected. And they kind of come back to... They're connected at the beginning, then they fork off, and then they kind of come back at the very, very end. Basically, there's these 2 women that kind of need a break from life. Romantic stuff's not going their way. One of them just broke up with their boyfriend who cheated on them. The other one has been in love with this dude who is treating her like crap, and he is in love with another girl, but he's kind of always leading her on and stuff like that. And so they're both like we... At the same time, they're like, I need a break. And so they go online and they're kind of like looking at vacation stuff. And then they end up doing this like home swap thing where they live in in each other's houses for like 2 weeks or something like that.
Which I've never heard of. And
yeah,
I refuse to accept as a real thing.
I actually think it was a real thing. Especially back in the 2000s.
It ain't happening anymore. But...
Well, some people rent out... I could see it being a real thing. But anyway, it is a little weird.
I never
heard nowadays. Yeah. I hadn't really heard of it either, but 2000s were weird. Every decade was weird, so I'd believe it. Anyway.
Yeah, but what good actually came from the 2000s?
Dang.
I'm sorry, but like, especially you look back on the fashion, it's like, nah.
Oh, I hate 2000s fashion. Don't even.
It isn't fashion. It's just bad. Anyways, the movie. We're not going to go down that road.
Yeah. Basically, I'm taking too long to explain this, but this movie is about 2 girls that switch houses that end up kind of like slowly falling in love and are also kind of evaluating. Okay, this movie was surprisingly deep to me because I actually watched this like 2 weeks before you watched it. We'll get to your thoughts on that.
All right, here, wait. So Jaron's kind of cutting himself off. So, movie is Girl in England. Right? There's a girl in England and a girl in LA. They're both having issues with dudes. So they're like, frick this, I want to go somewhere on vacation and forget about life for a bit. They switch houses. Now the American's in England, the English is in America, right? They're living, they fall in love with different people in their new spots. The American girl in England falls in love with the English girl's brother.
Yeah.
And the English girl in America falls in love with a variety of people that I get really confused by. Because it's like, wait, weren't we just in love for the 20th time over here? Then they go back home and the movie ends with a big fancy New Year's dinner. And the American didn't go back to America. Now he's just living with the English person's brother.
Yeah, okay, so let me get...
That's the most bare bones I can do it.
Yeah, that's mostly... I would say that's mostly accurate. You said a couple things that... But yeah. But at least you didn't get sidetracked. When I try to explain things, I take like 5 years. So that's on me. Anyway, my thoughts on this. I've seen better movies, but it's a rom-com. So I know what I'm getting into when I watch this kind of movie. It's not going to be some Oscar, like, award-winning, like... drama that is a statement piece about like life and death or something like that. It's just supposed to be a funny, sweet little like, oh, that's nice, like that kind of thing. And so for what it's worth,
I can assure you, me sitting in my pajamas with a foot massager, shirtless in my living room, watching this movie, at no point in time went, "Aw."
look. This is basically my favorite genre of movie. I really, really like. I'm a romantic, Evan.
But you're
Just
single.
kidding. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Evan just coming out swinging. I didn't say I was in a relationship, dog. For some reason, I just really have a soft spot for romantic dramas and romantic comedies. But this movie is actually pretty. I actually thought there was a lot of good stuff. Now, some things are pretty cheesy. Some things are kind of like that wouldn't happen in real life, like But like the stuff that it says about like marriage and divorce and like love and sacrifice. It's not like on a super deep level, but there's the American character that lives in England for the 2 weeks and meets the English lady's brother and falls in love. I thought was way more was a lot more interesting than the English lady being in America. I don't know about you.
Because the English lady, bro, she's falling in love with a 90-year-old filmmaker.
No,
she's falling in love with some dude that looks like an elf. She's falling in love. Like, what's happening, bro?
A dude that looks like an elf?
That one guy. Oh, shoot. He's the one that, like... Not the movie guy, because I forget him. Not the old guy. But
not Jack Black.
Who's Jack Black?
Jack Black was the dude that she ends up with at the end. Jack Black was the movie guy who did the soundtracks for movies.
Hold on.
Oh my
Googling him on images.
This dude.
Yeah, him. He looks like a bit of an elf. He kind of gave me those vibes.
Jack Black does not look like an elf.
I was like, I kind of expect you to like guard the underside of a bridge or something, not.
That's
make movies.
okay. That's a troll. That's not even.
No, I'm just saying he gives off like mystical vibes. His sideburns.
You know what?
His sideburns are a little off the charts.
We're getting off track again.
Continue.
My point
Jack
was
Black's
that
listening.
I thought Cameron Diaz's character's whole thing was way more interesting because she finds eventually
the British guy.
Cameron Diaz is the girl.
Oh.
And Jude Law plays the guy that she falls in love with. Basically, they meet. They kind of have this like one night stand thing, but then they start to like actually like realize that they're like good, like they kind of go with each other, and they start to fall in love, and it's so sweet. And
then there's kids, bro.
The reason I like it so much is she finds out that he has kids. It's because she shows up to his house one day because she's wanting to like hang out, surprise him, and a kid answers the door. I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, he answers the door and she hears the kid.
Oh no, she hears someone thinking there's another girl home, and she's like, "Oh, you're not alone." He's like, "No," and then she's expecting this fully grown lady to show up, and it's just a few little minions come running to the door.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's actually really sweet because she accepts them and is willing to be like a mother figure in that family's life, and Jude Law his character was scared that him having kids would scare her off, and I don't know, I just really liked that because you don't really see stuff like that, and at least in a lot of rom-coms that I've seen.
It was a cool side to see.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like we're just gonna keep having sex all the time, and it's gonna be like it was like they do that, but it's not like the emphasis of.
And to clarify, the kids were not involved in that part.
Oh god, what, bruh? I hope that didn't need to be said, bruh. But yeah, actually, I've talked enough. I want to know your thoughts on this movie. Be brutally honest, Evan.
Oh, I will.
Oh wait, actually, real quick, I'm gonna rate this out of 10, in the context of rom-coms. That whole genre. I think I'd give this like a light 7. Pretty good. Decent. Not perfect, but...
Here's my thoughts. I didn't, hate it, right?
Okay.
There's definitely, times where I'm sitting there what's going on here? What are we doing? And there's times where I can beat the actors to their lines because it's like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna say like, I love you or something like that, and they're like British accents. And then they did. But there was also some moments that definitely made me like chuckle or snicker. So I guess it kind of like balances it out. But overall, like, bro, it's so hard to say because it's like I'm sitting here trying to critique a movie when like this is probably the first rom-com I've ever seen. So I have no context of anything.
You don't, okay,
I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what good movies are.
To put this into context, this probably is your first rom-com. This is probably like my 50th. So it's like, and I like them. Like, I know a lot of them aren't good.
Especially when you put on some like suspension of disbelief. Like when I'm sitting there watching this like as like a gosh darn it, I'm sitting here watching a movie. What's going on? And then when I'm not playing devil's advocate, right? If I just put away the fact that this is a fictional movie, and I kind of like try and get lost in it a little bit, it is quite funny. There's some nice moments, but at the same time, vice versa, it kind of snaps me out of my suspense. It unsuspends my disbelief when some of these lines come in, and I'm just there like, oh,
Sure.
Okay,
that's a very like rom-com thing. It's like you're gonna have predictable, sappy lines, you know. And I'm not excusing it, but it's just kind of it's part of the deal. It's part of the rom-com deal, I guess. But I would, if you like rom-coms, I would recommend this to someone, you know. But like
definitely a cool concept. I'm glad it wasn't just like a standard like two people in New York that fall in love.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool different from I also real quick before we move on, I did want to say I haven't really touched on the whole England thing, like the English girl part real quick. I liked what they kind of had to say about abusive relationships. Yeah. In this movie. Because those kind of things do exist. Basically, I already talked a little bit about it earlier, but she's in love with this dude who she used to date, and he broke up with her. Well, he cheated on her, and now he's engaged and he gets engaged with the girl that he cheated on with on her. Gosh, I messed that sentence up so bad. And she she still like lets him in. Like she still lets him like play with her emotions, and like he pretends to like act like he cares about her. And by the end of the movie she sticks up for herself and realizes that she's letting him destroy her, which I think is like, there's a lot of things in this rom-com that I think some rom-coms are just so generic and basic that they're not gonna have stuff like this in it.
Yeah, and there was one line I really liked. The one line that caught me off guard is like, holy crap, that's actually kind of a cool line. She's on the plane or a bus, some mode of transport, and that guy, what was his name again? The one that cheated and got engaged. Pivo.
I gotta pull up the cast list. It's been like 3 weeks since I watched the movie.
Not Pivo. That's not a name.
Jasper.
Casper. Yes.
Jasper.
Jasper. Yeah. Sorry. Frick me. My friend has a dog named Jasper. Anyways, Jasper, this guy, she's on the phone with him. This is after he's publicly got engaged, and he says something to her on the phone, and the British girl says, I'm paraphrasing it, but it was something along the lines of like, we both know I'm never gonna get over you, but can you at least let me try, or something like that.
Yeah, I like that's
a cool line. That's a cool line. So yeah, overall, rating wise, my rating means nothing because I have nothing to compare it to. But if I had to throw a number out,
enjoyment level,
I'll run.
Would you watch it again?
Well, I wouldn't watch any movie again, so that's not really a fair question.
Okay, that's true.
But I give it like, we're bordering a 6 for enjoyment. I enjoyed my time watching it.
I was expecting you to go lower than me, and I'm not surprised by that rating.
I didn't give
I
it
think
like a bad rating. It's
Yeah,
over
yeah,
a hump
yeah,
of
yeah.
5. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I could watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments.
Watch this movie.
Watch the movie.
Yeah.
And let us know.
There's some
Or-
good stuff in it.
Just let us know if you like me trying to understand movies.
Oh, and by the way, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix
Yeah.
right now.
That's the
how
only
we
reason
watched
I
it.
can watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but our Netflix thing is so like we still have it, but the sole reason we have it is because my older brother just watches Letterkenny 24/7 on repeat, even though there's like 5 episodes. And Letterkenny, if you don't know what that is, it's the most Canadian show ever. It's a bunch
I've
of
never heard of it.
it's a bunch of like beer league generic hockey players in Saskatchewan that their life is playing hockey, being at the bar, and trying to pick up girls out of their league. And it's just that, and they just got the the most, like, I've heard some heavy Canadian accents. They're off the chart. Like, it is exaggeration at this point. They're like, hey, bud, how's it going? Pass the pucker, bud. It's like, shut up, bro. What's going on?
That's funny.
Yeah,
Oh my
Letterkenny,
gosh.
honestly, just like, I would encourage you to just watch a clip on YouTube. I don't like it. I don't find it's so stupid. I can't enjoy it. But my brother does, which is
Hey,
funny
you
because he's really
yeah.
smart. But just watch a clip and you'll know everything you need to know about the show, and it'll be funny for you because it's such like the most stereotypical Canadian show you could possibly imagine.
If your brother ever stops watching it, you can't let your parents remove Netflix because that's the only way we're gonna be able to.
Not anymore.
review
I guess I
movies.
have an incentive to keep Netflix.
Yeah.
Because it's bi-weekly. Or not bi-weekly, it'll be like...
But real quick, if you guys wanna like let us know some movies that are on Netflix that we could.
I don't got no
we could
Disney
maybe watch.
Plus,
Yeah.
Mickey
got none of
Mouse
it.
minus. I don't got none of that crap.
He's
I
an
got
old
Netflix.
man. He doesn't watch movies, and I'm over here paying for like 1 million streaming services. So here, yeah, that's fun.
I spend my
Alright.
money in other irresponsible ways, so it's all good. Okay, so, what are we listening to? I guess.
Yeah.
We move in. I'm kind of excited for what I've brought this week. Do you want to go
I'm too.
first or second, Jaron? I'll let you choose.
How much of a curveball do you think you got?
I guarantee you haven't heard of my artist.
Okay. Well, I can also guarantee that you haven't heard of my artist.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I would. Okay.
Settle it like men. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors. Shoot, there's delay. What's going on?
I win.
Nah. You took advantage of the delay.
What?
Okay.
No, I didn't. I'm going first. I'll go first. It doesn't matter.
Run it.
So, the album that I'm bringing is called. Why am I blanking out? The artist is called the Dreamers Circus. And it is an instrumental band.
Ooh.
So no words. And the album that I'm bringing is called Rooftop Sessions. They've got a couple of albums. But
Yeah, I've got it
this
pulled
one,
up here. Cool album cover.
Yeah. So basically, if I'm remembering correctly, I think I was doing homework and I finished an album.
Wait. Before you continue, I don't know if this is just an Apple Music thing, but the genre
Okay.
of this album, Rooftop Sessions, the genre is Europe.
I mean, the band is European. I think they're like
But, like,
Norwegian.
So, bro, is Drake Canadian genre? Is Coulter
know.
Wall like Saskatchewanian? Is that his genre? What's
Well-
Why Apple Music have you called this album Europe? Now I know exactly what I'm getting into. Like what? Is this gonna be like Brexit advertisements? What's happening here?
I don't know. Apple's,
Sorry, that's caught me
Apple's
off
whack.
guard. I was
No,
like, what?
that is weird though. And I guess
What does it
I
say
can
on
understand
Spotify
why.
if it shows?
Oh yeah, so in their description, because they have like a bio thing. Reading it here, it says, like it's kind of like folk traditional music. But I don't like what is traditional music. But it's also like classical. So it's like there's a lot of violin and like string instruments and
I like the sound of that.
it's very what's a good way to describe it? It's very open. It feels very big.
Grand?
Like imagine
Like a
grand maybe,
orchestra.
but like also like I know, and I a lot of movies make me feel this way, but you don't watch movies. But like if anybody who's listening has ever seen like maybe like a medieval movie, like Robin Hood with Russell Crowe, there's a lot of like it's very like European traditional sounding, like lots of fiddle and violin
I've seen,
and strings.
On the topic of medieval movies, I have seen one.
What have you seen?
What is it? Is it Monty Python? Is that what it's called?
Oh my gosh, you've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
With like
That's
with like the coconuts for horses. It
Yeah,
was a long time ago. I have no clue what it is. And the one guy gets
No,
his
it's
arms chopped
that
off.
whole movie is just it's a satire. It's just
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's not like when I was when I said medieval, like a medieval movie, I was thinking something like just like
Mike the
Gladiator
Knight?
or Braveheart or like just a very knightish
Bro.
movie.
Mike the freaking
But
Knight. Well,
I
I
don't
don't know
know
if
what
that's
that
just a
is.
Canadian thing,
I have
but
no idea what
that's
that
like that is just as goated of a kid show as it is the worst kid
Ooh,
show of all time.
If
Continue.
you also here, yeah, I just thought of another like
Yeah.
a good thing to compare this to is this is not an album of like sea shanties or anything like that, but some of the like sounds,
Great
some of the
Big Sea.
instrumentation
Great Big Sea.
shares some of that. It's a very like it feels like very traditional European like music you would have heard like maybe a long time ago. But it's like really pretty. The standouts are the sorry, not the title track. The first track is City Gardens, and it's like really good. And then Kitchen Stories is the fourth track, and I like it a lot. And then the last track called Afterwards is probably my favorite track on the album. And the sixth track, Then We Waltzed, is really, really good. I like all the songs
added
on here.
those songs.
This is a really good album to throw on when you're... I mean, I've been throwing out when I was having some deep conversations with some people in my room, like last night. And since we were just kind of chilling, I threw this album on and put it on real quiet because it was just kind of like, there were no words. It was just very peaceful. That's a good way to put it. This album's just peaceful. It feels like I'm laying in a meadow and like I don't have to worry about anything. Like that is my job, to lay in the meadow.
Yeah.
You know, like that, like if that, like it just feels...
That's cool though.
It puts me at peace. I like how it makes me feel.
I've got it added. I will check this out tomorrow.
Yeah, so even if you're not into instrumental stuff, and a lot of the time I'm not, but for some reason recently I've just been kind of on a kick, I highly recommend this album. I really, really like it. It's
cool.
It's called Rooftop Sessions by Dreamer Circus. All
And
right,
the genre is Europe.
Evan. This is Europe music.
Oh, have you ever seen the one clip, Jimmy Kimmel, I think? Where they're like going around to Americans asking them, or no, it's not Jimmy Kimmel. It's some like one-off video of these people going to like an American high school and ask the kids at random like these geography questions, and someone, or maybe it was Jimmy Kimmel, one of the two, and one of the questions is like, can you name a country that starts with U? And it's like, first of all, United States. Your country.
The
None of
United
them said
States of
that.
America.
And one girl
You
said...
could say Ukraine.
One girl said Europe. And I was like...
And it starts with a U and the E. It starts with an E. That's funny.
Not quite. But yeah. Anyways, I'm kind of excited to talk about my album.
Okay.
It's not an album. It's an EP. 2 weeks of EPs in a row. I'm slacking. But it was recommended to me by a friend. Who he goes to, or I lost my grammar. I have a friend, and he goes to college with this girl, and she put out an EP because he's in a music program, and so is she. And he said that, like, yo, I think you would really like this EP. And that kind of like, first of all, I actually believed him because he's like a big, heavy metal rock fan. He's a bass player. He's insane. Zach, if you're listening, hi. But yeah, so we do not have the same music taste. But he sent this EP to me. He's like, a girl I go to college with made this. I think you'd really enjoy it. And I do. Can this fruit fly get out? Okay.
Out.
And I do. Let me pull it up. Where the frick did it go? Okay. So, her name is Jessie Gosling. The EP is called Forewarning. It's 4 tracks, 5 because, like, one song, Late December. There's 2 versions of it.
How do you spell Jessie?
Jessie.
I-E. Okay.
Yeah, and then Gosling.
Found her.
Yes, sir. Forewarning is the name of the EP. It's labeled as folk, not Canadian, and it's really cool. It feels like you're saying you feel like you're laying in a thing of meadows. Looking at that, the cover of that's how I feel. I feel like I need to put another coat on. It just feels cold in a really cool way.
Her album covers are giving me some more vibe. We've talked about Sarah Eagleson before, who's just one of my favorite artists.
Yes, you will. Yes, I have a feeling you might actually really like this.
Okay.
So
I'll just save it right now.
that's a good comparison. So it's like this indie folk thing. Her voice is gorgeous. It's really something, and there's a lot of moments where she harmonizes with herself, and it just sounds stunning. Especially how they use panning sometimes to have the voice coming in from different sides, or my car is just fricked and I was hearing things from other directions. But anyways, like the last song, Streetlights, coming in on the end of the song, there's this big climactic moment where there's like, maybe I'm tripping, but I at least like 5 or 6 layers of her voice, and it sounds so cool because each line's so good. Of the 4 songs, I think my favorite is either Streetlights, the final one, or Each Time She Calls, which is... Each Time She Calls is definitely like the bop. It's the one that'll get stuck in your head. It's got a super catchy rhythm. I'm like, it's been a while. Yeah, but...
That was nice.
It was arguably better than her singing there. I'm not going to lie. That was mine was pretty on point. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah... Yeah, her voice is stunning. It's very acoustic. In fact, for the most part, the only instrument is just an acoustic guitar. Just very dusty sounding, empty room sounding acoustic. Just uses her voice, uses space and ambience. Late December has a nice piano that I don't know if it's a loop or not. But yeah, it's just like either a guitar and maybe drums, or a piano and a little bit of drums. And she just lets her voice do all the work, and it does all the work. I'd say my only critique is at times I think the songwriting can be a little scattered, like a little not misdirectional, but just lacking direction, like on Princess, which I think sounds beautiful. But I read the lyrics and I get what she's going for, but I just think sometimes there's almost a line of like too much imagery to the point where I can't pull it all together, because you're giving me all these like little details. Like you're telling me about the brand of pen. You're telling me about the color of the computer monitor. You're telling me like the patterns of the woven in the carpet, but I can't picture the whole room. I don't know exactly what it's looking like. If that analogy made any sense to you. But yeah, this EP is super pretty. Very pretty. Yeah. I love her voice. I love this EP. And that is what I've been listening to. I've been listening to this quite a bit.
I'm like halfway through Princess, and this is just kind of... This is my wheelhouse. It's connecting to my sad boy soul.
Yeah, it will. But I'm telling you, and like anyone listening to this, if I want you to listen to one song, Each Time She Calls, it's just got a great rhythm, a great drive. I love it. I love that song. I love her voice. I'm just repeating myself, but check it out. It's really cool. With that, is there anything else? We didn't branch off as much as we normally do.
I want to very quickly,
Right,
and I say
yes.
quickly, but I'll probably go off.
Whoa. You,
What?
what, did you just cut out, or was that the craziest voice crack?
I don't know. So
I will find out in editing.
We'll find out. Anyway, we're gonna do a Jaron. I wouldn't call this a rant. I would call this more. Jaron is excited and scared about basketball because that's all I care about in the sports realm because I'm a Hoosier and I like basketball. We got a freaking movie named Hoosiers. Basketball is my sport. Step off. If you're not a Hoosier, get off. Step off. Anyway. The Pacers, and sorry, for those of you, let me just give some background. The Pacers
Indiana.
are in the Indiana's, I can't.
The
My brain.
Indiana Pacers. The Pacers play for Indiana. The
Yeah,
Indiana
yeah.
basketball team is called the Pacers.
Yeah, national in the NBA. So thank you, Evan. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, the trade deadline for this season was today at like 2 p.m. And a lot of stuff happened.
I saw
crazy
James
stuff
Harden
happened.
got traded.
James Harden got traded. James Harden got
I
traded.
heard James
That
Harden
did happen,
got traded.
but if I start talking about that, I'm gonna get off on a big tangent. But I'm really
Yeah.
excited for what that stuff is happening because it's really interesting. But with the Pacers stuff, the Pacers have been not good, and and I've just been kind of like, man, this is kind of upsetting because I thought we were gonna kind of have a good season this year, and it's just like things aren't doing stuff, you know, things aren't clicking, and our owner kind of like sucks, Herb Simon, and he like is like sometimes you gotta rebuild, you gotta be bad for a couple seasons, and rebuild the team, and then be good for a couple seasons.
All right. So talk to my Edmonton Oilers. We've been rebuilding since I was born. And we're still rebuilding. We started the year like 11-0. Some crazy number. One of the best starts to a season we've ever had. We are now 5 points out of the wild card spot. Where are we in the freaking Pacific? Can I see? Yeah, we're 5th in the Pacific. We reek. We're bad. We suck.
They're Canadian.
We're Canadian. And you know what? Even better, now like the NHL is basically saying like we're going to move all the Canadian teams. Not like rebrand or anything. But like the Oilers won't play in Edmonton. The Maple Leafs won't play in Toronto because Canada, we can't figure our stuff out.
Oh, so are those teams just
unable
going to move
to.
to the U.S.?
For the time being, until
Temporarily.
Canada can sort anything out. Because
that makes sense.
our prime minister just moves to his cottage whenever anything happens. It's a great time up here, I promise you.
All right, well, not to...
Basketball.
Anyway, what I was saying is, Pacers, we want to rebuild, right? And our owner literally came out like 2 months ago and was like, I don't believe in rebuilding. We're always going to try to win no matter what. And I'm like, Chief, like, dog, what do you mean? This dude is like the most stubborn. Look, that's somewhat admirable. Like, okay, yeah, you want to you don't want to give up. You always want to like win. That's like a winning spirit. Like, I get it, but like sometimes you just kind of gotta like
Sometimes
trade some
you gotta
pieces
accept
and-
how bad you are.
Yeah, we weren't the worst team in the league this season, but we're just not doing super hot, right? Anyway, to get to my point is, the reason I'm really happy right now is because I don't know what happened. I don't know if they kidnapped our owner and he can't, and like, I don't know, because we just traded away our all-star player and a bunch of our starters for a bunch of young guys. We robbed the Sacramento Kings and took their like their one player, Tyrese Halliburton, who they were gonna like. He was supposed to be their future, right? And somehow we convinced them to. We gave them Domantas Sabonis, Justin Holiday, and Jeremy Lamb, and we got Buddy Hield, one of the best wing perimeter shooters in the league, and Tyrese Halliburton, who's only 21 years old and has a higher ceiling than Domantas Sabonis. And the Kings said, "Yeah, we'll do that," and they gave them to us. And then we just and we traded Karis LeVert for a bunch of draft picks, and Ricky Rubio, who
I recognize that name.
Yeah, and it'd be like Ricky. I don't know if we're gonna re-sign him because he's on the last year of his contract, so we might just like not re-sign him for cap space. But like, if we do re-sign him, go ahead because he's a good backup point guard and veteran with experience to have on the team, and I'm really excited because our team could maybe be good in like 2 years because we have like all these young guys. We got a ton of draft picks, and if we keep tanking this season, we might even get like a top 5 draft pick and get like the rookie of the year next year. So like as a Pacers fan, I'm really excited. Although I will say my heart is still kind of broken because Domantas Sabonis was my favorite player ever. I've got his shirt. I've got a couple shirts here. I love him, and it hurts to see him on another team wearing a different jersey. And also the Sacramento Kings are kind of a poverty franchise, and they're kind of idiots. And now he has to play for them, so I kind of feel bad for him. So that sucks. But as a Pacers fan, I'm really happy right now. I'm sorry, listeners, if you don't like basketball. Whatever, I don't care.
If you didn't like basketball, fear not. Because I just remembered something that came out very recently that I want to talk about for just a few minutes before we close it off. We've got a few minutes here. Jon freaking Pardi.
Oh, the single.
New music from... Is that tonight? Or is that next week?
It's next Friday.
Frick. Okay, anyways.
It's the... That would be the 18th?
What?
I think that would be the 18th, because
yes.
Today's...
Yeah. And what was it called? Something Lonely Night?
Long Lonely Night, maybe? I don't actually know.
Last Night Lonely. New single from Jon Pardi. The first taste of new music from him since, I guess 2020. When he put out Beer Light and Bar Downtown. But before that, we're talking like November 2019.
Yeah.
This is the first taste of the next... Because, like, Bar Downtown and Beer Light, first of all, oh my gosh, do I love Beer Light. Like, that, if I ever do make a party list, you might see that. But anyways, but that fit with Heartache Medication. That fit really well with the vibe, the aesthetics and everything. It tied it all together. That is 2 bonus tracks that I will go back to. Because I think it actually enhanced the album. I think it brought it to a better close. But... a lot of questions is like, where does Jon go from here? He had his debut, not very good. Not that it was terrible. It's just very middle of the road, bro country. Then he had California Sunrise, great album. One of the albums that got me listening more critically to music because I was listening to Head Over Boots and I was like, wow, I like this song. And it was one of the first, and then I got to, Heartache on the Dance Floor. And then we got She Ain't In It. And it's like, that was one of the first albums that I fell in love with. It's like, I like this album. So it'll always hold a special place. Then he went Heartache Medication. Album went crazy. Had so many gems, so many hits, too. He really rode the singles out for a long time, but it just shows the strength in the singles, like they're good songs because it held them afloat for several years. But now, finally, we have a new taste of Jon Pardi music, and it is coming next week. Last Lonely Night. I'm so freaking pumped. I don't even know what I want to say. I kind of just wanted to acknowledge that is some of the best news I've received recently.
Yeah, sometimes I forget how much I like Jon Pardi. I was actually thinking earlier today. Well, I just haven't... It's been so long since we've gotten...
I get what you mean.
It's been so long since we've gotten an album, and when his last album came out, I listened to it a lot, right? And I still really like it. It's just... I've been listening to so much music, and over the past 2 years, I've been trying to branch out. I've been getting way more into rock than I was 2 years ago. I've gotten way more into like chill lo-fi stuff. I'm trying out instrumental things. I listen to movie soundtracks a lot more now.
On the topic of
Like
chill lo-fi stuff, because that's what my friends kind of listen to. I found this one album. I don't know how it came up. I don't know if I saw it on a story. It came up anyways. Versace. It's not spelt like that, but his 2021 album, My Head's a Mosh Pit. Not the best, but Thought Pool from 2018. That's a cool album. I like that. But anyways.
Wait, how did you spell Versace? I'm just curious.
Verzac-E, because the guy's name is Zach. But it looks like Versace. But anyways, I didn't want to cut you off. Continue. I just wanted to say that because you triggered like, oh wait, this album I kind of been like.
I found him. Okay. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh,
branching out.
Well, yeah, I was in the context of like Jon Pardi and all that other stuff. Sometimes, like, I'm just excited to have another Jon Pardi song, you know, like my favorite. I think some people actually kind of hate on. Well, I don't want to say hate. I think some people dislike Starlight. Starlight's like my favorite Jon Pardi song. The closer on his.
Who dislikes Starlight?
I remember talking to people that didn't like it in the Discord a while ago. I could be wrong.
Show yourselves.
Maybe there's a lot of people that like it. I don't actually know.
I love
I
that
just
song.
know that I just know that I've talked to people that don't like it. That might be my favorite one. I've cried listening to it before because I'm a little loser, and I'm always in my feels.
I think the only songs I don't really like.
I'm not depressed. I'm just happy when I'm sad.
Maybe I never really go back to Tied One On.
That one's so fun.
Even though it's a fun time, if I had to pick one song, it'd probably be that one. But, bro, how is he gonna top Heartache Medication?
I don't know. Oh, that's
like, I would read out the best songs, but I'd just be reading out the track list.
While we're on this topic, though, it's weird because I'm not really sure why, but I feel like I like his first album more than Heartache Medication. And I will say I think Heartache Medication...
Or like
California... Oh, no, sorry. California Sunrise. I always forget he had an album before California Sunrise.
It's so irrelevant.
Yeah, it's... but I love... So many songs are just bangers.
Oh, dude.
But
California Sunrise...
But Heartache Medication also has bangers, but for some reason... There's something about the first album... Not his first album. There's something about California Sunrise that clicks with me. And I love this.
I think California Sunrise has a little more
and it probably is
drive.
a better album.
I think California Sunrise a little more drive, a little more power, a little more like rock fusions, whereas Heartache Medication's a lot more like slower neo-trad.
Like there's something about like Cowboy Hat. I love that song.
I know some people. As frick.
I know, yeah, and like, man. I don't know, man. I just really like it. Lucky Tonight, just California Sunrise, so good. Like,
She Ain't In It.
Yeah, it was just a lot of... Both albums so good, and honestly, I've already said this probably like 5 times, but Heartache Medication is probably a better album, but I kind of like California Sunrise more, and I know a lot of people are gonna disagree. But
I don't even know where I stand. Like I don't know if I've said my take before, but like as of February 10th. 2022. I don't know which one I prefer.
And I love Heartache on the Dance Floor, and like Can't Turn You Down, kind of underrated in my opinion. Out of Style, so good.
I'm still waiting for Cody Johnson to hop on Dirt on My Boots. Still waiting.
Wait, what do you mean?
I want that to be.
You just want a collab.
I just want that specific song. It screams Cody Johnson.
It kind of does.
Yeah. But anyways, I think look at us running just at an hour. We're beautiful podcast
Look at
hosts.
us. What's better than us? Who would have thought?
Who?
Not me.
Who's better than us?
Yeah, no one.
I don't see anybody. I'm like it's lonely at the top up here.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I see no other god up here. But me.
Me.
The cat meme.
Yeah. Cool. So that's all we got for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. As always, be sure to let us know what you thought if you're on YouTube in the comments below. If you're listening to this on any of the streaming services, feel free to shoot either of us a message on Instagram or what you thought. Recommend us some movies you want me to try and watch. Yeah. This is a really anticlimactic closer or outro, but it's just kind of like.
But this is the outro now. Like we're outroing right now. Like this is the outro. Are we outroing? I think this is the outro. Outro.
End of podcast.